Congratulations. Well, we started playing the new single Begin Again on our show, and we've already got people requesting it, so congratulations.
Oh, that's awesome news. Thanks very much.
Not a problem.
Thanks for playing it, and it's great to hear that feedback. So far, we've had some, our listeners have been very kind to us, whether it's the press or our followers from around the globe. So it's been a real treat.
Yeah. So, mate, tell us a little bit about the band, because you guys took a very big hiatus in the middle there. Of course, you guys were around, I think, when I was at uni, first of all, and now you're back again. So tell us a little bit about what got the band back together again.
Yeah, man. So we started off back in '98, which was around the time that I guess Korn were getting big and Linkin Park and that new metal stuff from the States and elsewhere was really bubbling along, and bands back in Australia like Super Heist were getting a fair bit of coverage, and we were all really into that style because we were into sort of rock and metal and hip hop and all the rest of it, and it sort of just sat well with us guys. And then we continued on from '98 to about '04, '05, and then we really did just take a break. Like, there was never a conversation saying one of us is quitting or we'd all had enough or anything. It was really just we just finished some demo recordings, and they were we were happy with them, but we were just getting in the way and things, and we were doing some travel and that type of stuff. So we all just sort of took a pause, but we were mates still, which was nice. And then it was in late 2018, early 2019 that we got approached to see if we wanted to do a support for a US band that was coming over to Australia at that time. And that's really what got things triggered. We just did a ring around then to all the fellas in the band, and everybody said, yeah, well, if we're all in, then I'll do it. And so, sure enough, everyone was in. And, we thought, let's get back together and maybe just do this show as a one-off. But then we started writing a bit, and one thing led to another, and we ultimately said, let's not do the show, because it was going to just be a kind of a nostalgia set. We said, no, if we're going to come back, let's write some new tunes, go and record them, do things properly, and then come back when we're feeling like it's all schmick enough.
Yeah. You don't have to name names or anything like that, but what was that call like when you received that call saying, just out of the blue, do you guys want to get back together again and do this show?
Yeah, we were pretty stoked to get the call because, I don't know, I guess we felt like we weren't very relevant anymore after having such a long hiatus. But then, we got the call up, and so we were surprised. And I think, we sort of thought, well, if we can all do it, then we'll all do it. If one of us said no, I think we probably all would have said, let's not do it, rather than saying, let's go find another drummer or another bass player or something. We kind of thought, well, if we want to do it, we only want to do it on our terms, more or less.
Yeah. So
but it was a surprise.
Yeah.
It was a surprise to get that call.
So what did it feel like when you guys first started writing new material for the EP? Did it just feel really natural when you got back in there to start writing?
Yeah, pretty much. We couldn't resist. So first of all, we've all got fairly busy lives, but we said, well, we'll do it as long as it doesn't take up too much of our efforts. But then we started jamming on the old stuff, and then Richie said, I've got this one new song that I'd like to do. And so we said, okay, well, I guess we'll do that. And then he said, and we'll just do one video clip for it. And we said, okay, we'll do that. And then I think all of us started writing riffs, and we said, oh, no, this is too much fun. Let's just scrap some of the old stuff from the set and start writing. And I think it felt to all of us like it was the thing that had been missing from our lives, even though we didn't realise it was missing.
Yeah.
And it's been this amazing creative outlet. It's been fun for us all getting back together and hanging out and putting this project together. And, the writing stuff, it all did pretty much click. Like, we haven't changed that much in our individual styles or anything since the old days. But so we all did sort of gel pretty well when we were back in the room. And that, I think it's really fortunate that all of the original guys from that era were available and keen, so that we could all just sort of slot back in, and there wasn't going to be any disharmony, I suppose, with songwriting.
Yeah,
it's been really fun. Yeah.
And have you found that what inspires you to write has changed from the late 90s? Like, because life has changed for you all, is what inspires you to write kind of changed, or is that still the same as well?
No, big time. I think that life experience that we've all had along the last, probably more so over the last 13 years than the time before that. So, I mean, back in the day, it was pretty much party tunes, a little bit of politics and stuff, but it was sort of, just sort of classic nu metal themes and things like that. So they're more heavily influenced by hip hop and that sort of bragging type of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas now, over the last 13 years, we've dealt with all types of highs and lows and that kind of thing, and across all of it, and that's what we kind of wanted to tap into more in this recording. We said, no, we want to dig deeper than we have with the earlier stuff. And so, we've dealt, like, each of us have dealt with things like marriages and divorces and deaths and kids and addictions and all of that sort of stuff over the years. And so we wanted to really bring some of our life experience into the music and sort of dig deep for ourselves, and hopefully our audience gets a bit out of that, can see that it's coming from somewhere real, and that's what we wanted to share.
Definitely. And you worked with Sam from Ocean Grove as producer on this. Why did you decide to work with Sam, and what do you feel he brings to your music?
Yeah, well, when we were getting back together, we figured one of the bands that we all had in common that we really were getting into was Ocean Grove.
Yep.
And that was sort of, they were fairly heavily into the nu metal kind of stuff that we were doing. And so when we were talking with a couple of different producers in the States and in Australia, we thought, let's reach out to Sam, because, and just to see if it was something that we could do with him. And so, we got in touch with Sam via Instagram and had a chat, and he said, he remembers us from back in the day as well, although he wasn't there at the time because he was too young for us.
Yeah.
He might have been at one of the all ages shows, I don't know.
We're all old boys now, so yeah.
We are, big time. And so, we reached out to Sam, and he said, no, I'm familiar with the band, and he was keen. And so it was also, although it was a disaster for Ocean Grove, having just dropped Flip Phone Fantasy at the start of COVID, the upshot for us meant that Sam was available to us.
Yeah.
I felt really sorry for those guys having just completed that album and not being able to tour it.
Yeah.
But it meant that he was stuck at home and looking for a project to sink his teeth into, and that was us.
Yeah. How did COVID affect you guys?
That was an amazing experience. So we sort of tapped in with Sam, and he was keen. And then from then on, we thought, he's our man. And we've sort of made a promise with each other that we'll continue to work together through the next stuff that we do.
Definitely.
Well.
So does that mean that we might see an Ocean Grove BISON co-headlining show at some stage?
That's cool with us.
So, mate, I have to ask, how did COVID affect you guys? Because you guys would have been writing and recording during the time that we were going through snap lockdowns and things like that. What kind of pressure did that put on you guys, and how hard did it make it?
Man, of all the times for us to decide to put this band back together and record a record, any other time would have been much easier.
Yeah.
Like, it was a crazy experience. We wrote the songs in 2019, tracked the drums and some guide guitars in November 2019 and early 2020. And the plan was to record it all in the more traditional way in a studio.
Yep.
Everything shut down.
Yep.
So we got the drums recorded, and then the rest of it we had to either abandon it indefinitely or else just figure out a way to make it work. So what we did, we all just managed to grab some recording gear and record at home. So we were just demoing individually, sending it around to each other until we were happy with it, and then passing it on to Sam. And then when the availability was there, and I was able to travel, I'd go and see Sam and do the vocals, and we would assist with the mix. But it was a crazy process.
Yeah.
Probably better off for it, I think, the record, because we got to spend more time on it, and as opposed to just sort of sitting down and nutting it out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we probably the finished product is better for COVID. Although at the time it just felt like every single thing that could go in our way was put in our way. Whether that's photo shoot being abandoned, video clip being abandoned or postponed, recording sessions rescheduled. But once we got the hang of doing it ourselves at home, then everything sort of slotted into place okay.
Definitely. Oh, and the first track that we've heard is absolutely amazing, and I guess that leads to my next question is the single Begin Again. Is that a great example of what we can expect from the rest of the EP?
Yeah, I think so. Like, each song has its own identity, so we wanted to not just have 6 songs that are the same. Each of them are a bit different. Like, there is a theme that rolls through all of them, but yeah, they're not. You won't hear Begin Again 6 times on this record.
Yeah.
It's probably the others have probably all got a bit more melody to them, I think, than Begin Again. But that just felt to us like a good one to help let us out of the box. And it was also, that was the first song that we wrote having reformed, and it just felt like a good starting off track for us. But it is probably a pretty good example of what you'll hear. It's fairly modern. We wanted to do a fairly modern spin on what we used to do, and I think that's what we've done.
Awesome. Well, mate, I think it's time to take another listen to Begin Again on our show right now. So what would you like to say to all of our listeners out there before they get another chance to listen to this amazing track?
Hey all, thanks heaps to our new listeners and for our loyal followers for sticking with us over the last many years. It's great to be back, and we're looking forward to putting much more music out there. Look forward to the EP and sharing it with all you guys. Thanks heaps.
Awesome, mate. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we cannot wait until we see you guys live on stage sometime in the future as well.
Looking forward to seeing you all there.
Awesome, mate. I'll let you go. Have a great day, and hopefully we chat soon.
Rock on. Thanks,
awesome, mate. Bye.
Later.